So, as I mentioned in my previous video about the 4 levels of existence, with the astral plane being the 4th dimension of existence, I would like to now tap into what is called astral projection, which is when we can do more than just imagine, but we enter the imagination. And so what do I mean by this? Well, I mean that when you're reading a book, you imagine amazing, wondrous lands. However, when you fall to sleep, you are imagining on a completely different level, to the point where you're astral projecting. So you're not so much imagining anymore, because that is where you are still within your body. When you go to sleep, you're not in your body anymore. Your body, yes, may still be breathing, meaning that your body is still alive, but your consciousness itself leaves the body, because the body gets tired, the soul does not. The body is finite, it will die, and it is mortal. But the soul, however, is immortal, it is infinite. So when the body starts getting tired, the soul goes, oh, well, I haven't even had my fair share of the fun yet. And it thinks that the body going to sleep is a bit boring. And so it goes, you know what? All that imagining that you've done during the day where you were stuck in the body, I'm actually going to go and live it out of the body while you're asleep, where I have the freedom to explore everything you imagine, but without any limitations of the physical body. And so when our soul goes into this astral plane, it can experience everything that you imagined during the day, of which this is why many people find that when they practice holding an image or thought with an intent in their mind as they fall to sleep, they tend to find that they remember the next morning having a dream about living that said thought. So the way that we can astral project while we aren't asleep, when our bodies aren't tired, is a very similar method to what happens when we do fall asleep. However, the difference between astral projecting when we fall asleep and astral projecting when we're still in the body during the day is that when you do it during your sleep, you're completely unconscious to it. You don't notice that you're doing it. It just happens and it just is. And you wake up going, whoa, that was amazing. But when you're doing it when you're still in your body, when you're feeling awake and during the day, there's more thought to it. There's more of a procedure to it. And the soul doesn't need a procedure when the body goes to sleep. The soul just goes, you know what, going on a ride, the body's good, I'm going. But when the body's in charge during the day, the soul can't just depart, because that would make you flop onto the ground and bash your head open and some nasty stuff. So, what is the practice like for astral projection? It is made up of lying down flat with no body parts touching. It's best, of course, to lie on as flat of a surface as you can, but also to be as comfortable as you can. So, if you want to lay on a wooden floor, that's okay. If you want to lay on a carpet, that's cool too. And if you want to lay on a bed, that's also cool. But just know that if you lay on a bed, you will get the tendency to want to fall asleep. And the day is when you're meant to be awake. So just keep that in mind. Now, when you're doing this practice, the second part, after you have laid down flat with no body parts touching, is to rest every single muscle in the body and be as still as possible. Now, this takes a lot of awareness to do, because in this day and age, we are so bombarded by things from every single corner of our experience, from when we go outside, from the traffic noises to music, frequencies of radiation from computers, even just marketing when we go out into the streets, or when we're at a shopping centre and we see models or bikinis or suits and whatnot, we are constantly being bombarded with information that, because we have an endocrine system, we are not meant to be bombarded with things so constantly and abruptly. We're meant to be calm and one moment at a time, and not everything all at once. So with this said, as you do your best to relax every single muscle in your body and be as still as possible, which of course takes time, it's not an instant thing, you can then of course close your eyes, which I personally would say that you can close your eyes before you rest every muscle of the body, as it could help you calm the mind and become one with your body, which I would say would help you relax your body much faster, rather than taking in all of the stimulating, or the overly stimulating world from your eyes being open. Now, with that being done, breathe in deep through your nose and slowly, very slowly, out the mouth. Meditate until you have lost all desires and the mind, like I said, is completely empty of thoughts. Now, again, this takes a lot of practice and a lot of awareness, because the first time you do it, sometimes, or most of the time, you'll be bombarded with thoughts. And so try not to refuse it, and instead just observe the thoughts. Don't identify with them, just let them flow like a streaming river. And eventually you will just allow them to come and go, and you will learn that you are not them, and you'll become above them. You'll become the observer of them rather than the reactor of them. Now, having lost all the desires of the body and being completely relaxed in the mind, you can then focus your attention on the middle of your brain. Now, where I'm referring to here is between your eyebrows, aka the third eye or the pineal gland. When you do this until you start to feel a tingling sensation all over your body. This tingling sensation is your energy body, the etheric body, the part of the etheric plane of existence that is within yourself, that is now being awakened. Now imagine yourself pulling a rope up into the sky. You may begin to feel yourself being lifted out of the body, but do not be scared. Because if you do become scared, then you'll be instantly sucked back into your body as quickly as you left it. Now, I myself have only tried astral traveling 2 or 3 times, and out of all those times, most of them were completely unconscious, well, more unintentional on my part. I did not realize that I was doing it. I was just completely relaxing my mind, looking into my pineal gland, and I felt my body get extremely light, extremely hollow, and I felt like I was floating out of my body. And I could see my thoughts disappearing, my muscles relaxing, and I could see a world of white light appearing. However, then my thought came in, because it went, oh crap, what's this? And it tried to make sense of it. It tried to make a form out of the formless. It tried to give what I was experiencing a construct so that it could make sense of it. However, this was driven by the fear of uncertainty and unsafety. And so because of this, I was instantly sucked back into my body, which, I'm not going to lie, was not the most pleasant experience, because it kind of felt like, I guess, being baptized or having a very cold bucket of water being poured over me, or like a breeze of freezing cold air went over my body. Now, you can keep doing this exercise until you gain the ability to leave the whole body and discover the astral realm of existence, as I said we do when we're asleep, whether we know it or not. Most of the time we don't know it, but we can practice the awareness of remembering and choosing where we go and what we do. But this is the best method that I have found to make it so that we can enter the dream state while still being within our somewhat awake body instead of being beyond exhausted. When successfully astral traveling or projecting and desiring to return to your physical body, the process involves a simple act of intention. By directing your thoughts towards reuniting with your physical form and focusing on the idea of returning, you can initiate a swift transition, effectively guiding yourself back into your body. I myself have not gotten to this stage yet, but if I ever do, I shall let you know.